Estonia, the digital forest kingdom of the north. Once upon a time, there was a quiet, nerdy girl in school. She spent most of her days reading, writing code on her calculator, and humming songs no one knew. People rarely noticed her, until one day, at a school talent show, she took off her glasses and sang with a voice that silenced the entire room. It was raw, powerful, and unforgettable. From that day on, everyone saw her differently. That girl is Estonia. For centuries, the world underestimated her, a small nation hidden between great empires. But when her moment came, she stepped into the spotlight and sang her way into history. Welcome to Estonia, Europe's hidden genius, a land where digital revolutions rise from pine forests, where medieval towers share the skyline with sleek glass offices, and where Wi-Fi connects you even in the middle of a bog. The land between the Baltic and the North. Geographically, Estonia sits on the northeastern edge of Europe, bordered by Latvia to the south, Russia to the east, and the Baltic Sea to the west and north. Across the Gulf of Finland, just 80 kilometers away, lies Finland, Estonia's cultural twin. Although often grouped with the Baltic states, Estonia prefers to be called Nordic rather than Eastern European. The Soviet era left deep scars, and Estonians work hard to define their identity on their own terms: modern, tech-savvy, and forward-looking. The country is divided into 15 counties, or Maakonad, with Tallinn as its capital, a stunning blend of medieval charm and digital innovation. Tallinn's Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, looks like it was lifted straight out of a fairy tale, with cobblestone streets, Gothic spires, and walls dating back to the 13th century. Yet just a short walk away, you'll find tech startups, e-governance centers, and self-driving delivery robots roaming the streets. Further south lies Tartu, Estonia's second-largest city and its cultural and intellectual capital. Founded in 1632, Tartu University is one of the oldest in Northern Europe, drawing students and thinkers from across the continent. The city's architecture is a mix of neoclassical design and bold modern art, a place where history and creativity coexist in harmony. And on the coast of Pärnu Bay, the city of Pärnu shines every summer as Estonia's beach capital, famous for its long sandy shores, spas, and midnight bonfires that light up the Baltic nights. Islands, borders, and frozen roads. Estonia owns over 2,200 islands and islets, scattered like emeralds in the Baltic Sea. The largest are Saaremaa and Hiiumaa, each with its own distinct personality. Saaremaa is a land of windmills, Viking legends, and meteorite craters. Hiiumaa, quieter and more isolated, is known for its lighthouses and forests filled with deer and foxes. But Estonia's borders hold their own mysteries. On the eastern edge, the Narva River separates Estonia from Russia, guarded by two medieval castles, Narva Castle on the Estonian side, and Ivangrad Fortress across the river in Russia, forever staring each other down like stone sentinels of history. Further south, there's the curious Sats Boot, a tiny patch of Russian land that cuts across an Estonian road for less than a kilometer. Drivers can pass through freely, but walking or stopping is forbidden, not even for picking mushrooms. And when winter tightens its icy grip, Estonia performs one of its natural miracles, the world's longest ice road. Stretching up to 26 kilometers, it connects the mainland to Hiiumaa Island. For a few weeks each year, cars and trucks glide across a frozen sea, a highway made entirely of ice. Nature, the soul of Estonia. Estonia's landscape is like a painter's canvas, simple at first glance, yet filled with subtle details and hidden life. The country is mostly flat, with its highest point, Suurmunamägi, Big Egg Mountain, standing just 318 meters tall. But what Estonia lacks in height, it makes up for in natural beauty. Over 60% of the nation is covered in forest, pine, birch, and spruce stretching endlessly toward the horizon. Wild boars, lynxes, brown bears, elk, and wolves still roam freely here. In fact, Estonia is one of the few European countries where you can still find all major large predators living in their natural habitats. The land is dotted with lakes and bogs, more than 1,400 lakes and thousands of smaller ponds. The largest, Lake Peipus, shared with Russia, is also Europe's fifth largest freshwater lake. Its shores are lined with old Russian Old Believer villages, where locals still practice traditional crafts and speak ancient dialects. And then there are the stones, massive glacial boulders scattered across the countryside. Over 60 of them have diameters greater than 30 meters, and every one of them is legally protected. Estonia also has the highest number of meteorite craters per square kilometer in Europe, with the most famous being the Kali craters on Saaremaa Island, a dramatic reminder of cosmic collisions thousands of years ago. Even underground, Estonia is unique. It's one of the world's leading producers of oil shale, a rock that can be processed into fuel. Though environmentally controversial, this resource has long been vital to Estonia's energy independence. People, language, and everyday life. Estonia's population of 1.3 million is small but diverse. About 70% are ethnic Estonians, 23% Russian, and the rest a mix of Finns, Ukrainians, Belarusians, and other minorities. The Estonian language, part of the Finno-Ugric family, is unlike anything else in Europe. Its closest relative is Finnish, not surprising, given the country's shared ancestry. Estonians often understand Finnish fairly well, though the reverse isn't always true. And if that fails, English steps in. It's widely spoken, especially among the younger generation. Despite their reserved reputation, Estonians are deeply proud of their culture. Music, folklore, and storytelling run in their veins. The country holds the world record for the most folk songs, with over 133,000 documented. This love of song became Estonia's greatest weapon. In the late 1980s, during Soviet rule, Estonians gathered in massive crowds and began singing forbidden patriotic songs. The movement, known as the Singing Revolution, grew so powerful that it helped the country gain independence, without a single drop of blood. A digital nation built in the woods. Today, Estonia is often called the world's most digital society. Here, you can pay your taxes, sign legal documents, vote in national elections, and even start a business, all online, from anywhere in the world. The government pioneered the idea of e-residency, allowing foreigners to establish Estonian businesses without ever setting foot in the country. The entire system is secure, paperless, and efficient, a model other nations envy. This tech revolution isn't new for Estonia. Some of the internet's earliest innovations were born here. Skype, Hotmail, and Kazaa all trace their roots back to Estonian engineers. Today, Tallinn is Europe's startup capital per capita, producing unicorn companies like Bolt and Wise. But beneath the coding and data servers lies an old soul. Estonians are deeply connected to nature. Many own summer cottages in the forest, where they retreat to pick berries, fish, or sit quietly in a smoke sauna, a centuries-old tradition recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. Culture, identity, and the Nordic connection. Estonia's culture is a mix of Nordic discipline and Baltic warmth. It's a country where ancient pagan customs coexist with modern design, where old farmhouses stand beside sleek minimalist homes. Religion plays a small role. Fewer than 20% of Estonians consider themselves religious, making it one of the least religious nations in the world. Instead, they find spirituality in nature, art, and the rhythm of the seasons. Perhaps this independence of thought explains Estonia's modern social attitudes. Marriage rates are low, and many couples live together without formal ties. Yet family bonds and community traditions remain strong. Estonia also boasts the highest number of international fashion models per capita and the highest female-to-male ratio in the world, legacies of its complex history and strong women. Culturally, Estonia feels close to Finland, its linguistic and emotional sibling. The two share a similar sense of humor, love of nature, and fascination with melancholy music. Iceland was the first country to recognize Estonia's independence in 1991, and Nordic cooperation remains central to its politics and economy. At the same time, Estonia maintains friendly ties with its Baltic neighbors, Latvia and Lithuania, and with other post-Soviet states that once shared its struggle for freedom. A song heard around the world. If Europe were a grand symphony, Estonia would be that quiet violinist in the back, unnoticed at first, until she plays one note so beautiful it changes everything. From Viking sagas to digital revolutions, from forest saunas to futuristic coding labs, Estonia is a country of contrasts that somehow blend perfectly. It's where nature meets technology, past meets future, and silence meets song. Small in size, but vast in imagination, Estonia stands as a reminder that greatness doesn't come from volume, but from harmony.